We have to be careful when we write the chemical formulas of compounds and elements, because how we write them will tell us a lot about what's going on. So question 11 wants us to compare and contrast two different ways of writing 2-bromine. So when we put the number in front of the symbols, it's telling us how many there are. So we would have 2-bromine. But when the number is in front of that symbol, what it's telling me is that I have 2 individual atoms. Now the other way that it's written is Br with a 2 as a subscript. Now the prefix sub means like below or beneath. So subscript means I've written something below or beneath the normal place where we've written. So we have bromine, and then I drop that number 2 down, and we call that a subscript. Oftentimes in chemistry, our subscripts are numbers because that number indicates how many. So since it's a 2, it also tells me that I have 2 bromine atoms. So both notations tell me I have 2 of the bromine atoms. But what's different about the second one, when I have the bromine with the 2 next to them, these 2 are bonded together or attached to each other. And when you have these 2 atoms that are bonded together, it forms what we would call a molecule. So what they have in common is that they both have 2 bromine atoms. But the first way of writing it indicates individual atoms. And the second way, using the subscript, indicates that those 2 atoms are bonded together. Question 12 asks us to list 7 diatomic elements. So the word diatomic means we have 2 atoms. The word element would mean that they would have to be the same kind of atoms, because an element can only have one type of atom. So diatomic elements are elements that in normal conditions prefer to come in groups of 2 or pairs instead of being single or individual atoms. So there are 7 elements that this happens to. Hydrogen, which is the first element over here, is one of them. And so when I would write not the symbol of hydrogen, but as a diatomic element, hydrogen would be written as H2. Now I use the periodic table to help me remember the other 6 elements. So there's 7 total, and if you go to element 7, you'll find the first one is nitrogen. And if you go across and down, then you will find the other 6. Now when I look at this number right here, across and down, I see the number 7. So what I remember is hydrogen is the first diatomic element. And then if I go to number 7 and make a 7, I will have the other 6. So they are nitrogen, and then going from left to right, oxygen and fluorine. And then once I hit fluorine, I'm going to go down the halogens. I have chlorine, bromine, and iodine. So right here, these are the 7 diatomic elements.